Palm Beach. I was at Mar-a-Lago last night, so please forgive me. Yeah, it was a really fantastic event there. Got to meet Mr. DeSantis and Marco Rubio. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. But anyways, I'm here to tell you guys about me and what I have planned here for California. So my name is Leo Zacky, and that is Zacky like Zacky Farms. That's my background. That's my family's business. Started in 1928 in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
And I started at the ground level, worked all the way up to becoming vice president, and it was a challenge because we just kept getting beaten down by California regulation, and eventually it just priced us out of competition. Our fixed costs got so high that we were just completely put out. So that's one of the big reasons I'm running. But while I was with my family's business, I was also a board member of the California Poultry Federation. There's a lobbying organization for obviously the poultry industry. So we would go to Sacramento and DC, and we would meet our senators and congressmen, state reps, USDA, FDA. And I quickly discovered that having gone to their offices and gone to private dinners with them, that they just don't care about us. They don't care about businesses. They don't care about the citizens, but they sure love being wined and dined and told how special they are. It was disgusting to me. I mean, I remember meeting a congressman who told me that he'd been elected 4 or 5 times and he'd never voted on a single thing. Yeah, I mean, these are the people that are in office right now. So that really got me motivated to want to make change here. And then obviously when Donald Trump ran, granted he's a billionaire, but still, he came from being a private citizen all the way to the highest echelons of power. And he did wonders for our country because he was a businessman and he had that background. And we saw the middle class grow tremendously for the first time in years. And I want to bring that growth back here to California because we've lost so many businesses. I mean, Oracle's moved out. My family got put under. Tesla's moved out. And these are big companies that employ a lot of people here in the state. And for my family's business, we employ people in some of the most impoverished parts of the state. So I want to be able to make things better for business in California, and I want to make it easier for folks to be able to start their own business. That way they can come from the lower class and go into the middle class and beyond. And that's how you really grow California's economy. You have to do it that way. With that being said, there's a lot of other issues in California. And again, agriculture background, water is a huge one that's been ignored for decades. And we need to bring water back the Central Valley. And how are we going to do that? How are we going to end this drought? Well, we have the Sierra Nevada mountain range, and we're not harnessing that snow. We need to do that.
Yes.
If we can capture the snow at high elevation and then have it go down to larger and larger reservoirs as it goes down the elevation, we can also include hydroelectric along the way that will generate power, and it will have tons of extra water. Also, we have to couple that with improving and upgrading the existing infrastructure that we have, and we also have to build desalination. And my long-term plan for California's water is to make us a water exporter. There's no reason we can't do that. We have the technology, we have the ability, let's do it. And it'll bring money into the state that's not going to come from tax dollars. We have Arizona, Nevada, and Mexico that would love fresh water. We can provide that, but we have to be able to have people in place to have these plans go forward and get built and managed properly and not misspent. Because there's so much bad spending going on in the state right now. I mean, look at it. They're putting homeless people in hotels. Is that working? No, but it's costing us a ton of money. So part of my plan is for the homeless crisis is I want to be able to enforce vagrancy laws, because that's step 1. We have to do that. Second, thank you. We also have to provide facilities for these people because they are still human beings. So I want to be able to provide facilities for them so we can have them be able to get treated for the mental illness or the drug addiction that they have, because this is really a mental health crisis exacerbated by drug addiction, and it's compounded with poor education. So we have to be able to provide treatment for them, and while they're there, give them the ability to learn a job skill, whether it's in agriculture, construction, sanitation, and even basic firefighting. And while they're there, they'll be able to do on-the-job training, so they'll earn some money while they're doing it. And when they're ready and they have their mental health crisis under control, their drug addiction, they'll have a job skill under their belt, and they'll be able to go back into society with money in their pocket and a skill that can carry them forward.
Good for you.
So, and any company that hires people coming out of the program will get a tax incentive. So we have to encourage this at all levels. And then the other big thing that I want to go after is corruption. It's rife throughout this country, but it's seriously bad here. I mean, they've been hiding money from us with this nowhere. We have to stop this once and for all. So the best way to end the corruption is to expose it, and we have the power of the internet. And I want to be able to go in, and anybody who's not getting on the program and they're voting against things that would be essential to making life better for us, well, we just go out and expose them. Just blast them on social media. Because when more people find out, they're going to show up and they're going to protest, or they'll go out in front of their house. You'll see change. You will see it. And we have to get our elections secured, because if we don't have secure elections, we don't have a nation. And when elected, I will push for an audit of the 2020 election here in California, because it needs to be done. Right, wrong, or indifferent, we need to have an answer. We can't have this carry on. And there's a lot of great people that are coming up with great paper ballot initiatives and voter ID stuff that we can implement into the state that will secure our elections and restore trust back into us, into the people. How much time do I have?
You've got about 8.5 minutes.
Oh, plenty of time.
Keep going.
All right. Well, let's see. Education, that's another big one. CRT has no place in our schools. It's completely divisive, and it has to be stopped once and for all. Also, we need to bring back things like home ec, shop class. These are the basic skills that people need to have. Also, civics. That way kids can have an understanding of how government works, so we don't fall back into this mess ever again. And the Pledge of Allegiance needs to be recited at the start of every day in the homerooms, because we need children to understand that they need to. This country is great. Yes, we came as immigrants, but we were also conquerors. We settled this land. We settled this nation. And we can't be having people taught that, oh, this is a racist country. That's not true. We helped end slavery around the world. I mean, it's still going on. We're not done yet. But there's a lot that needs to take place. So, yeah, children need to have better education, because we have charter schools coming up everywhere, and that's a symptom of a bad education system. And the money needs to follow them to whatever school they decide to go to, whatever their parents want. And obviously, parents have the final say in anything with their children, and we should not have mandatory injections or masking, any of that. It's all garbage. We know that science is completely flawed.
Yeah.
What else? Sorry.
Doing great.
Yeah.
You want to ask the question?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If anybody has questions, I'm more than happy to answer. Sure. Well,
What'd you learn in Mar-a-Lago?
well, what did I learn at Mar-a-Lago? I learned that there's definitely establishment people still around Trump. That I did notice that. But he's still 100% for us. I mean, he might not have the right. He might have a clouded view because of the establishment people around him, but he's still fighting for us. He's still 100% our president, undoubtedly. And that there's a lot of other real patriots out there that just need to get their voices heard. There's still good people in the world. Yes, ma'am.